Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez back at you again. Another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hopefully you woke up on the right side of the bed this morning, got the mind in the right place, up making some moves. But if you didn't, then we're going to try and help put your mind in the right place this morning so you can be productive today on this awesome Tuesday. So, morning, Vincenza. So yeah, I'm listening to another Jocko podcast. Really like this podcast, man. It's really good stuff. They're talking about discipline and the worth and the value of having discipline versus not having it, and where that leads you and where that gets you in life. Apparently someone had messaged, wrote in, because they write in and they read things, on the podcast. And one of the guys is like, well, what if you're born in a family that doesn't have discipline, or your parents didn't have discipline, or you didn't have discipline around you to learn discipline. They go on to talk about, you can't blame other people for you not having discipline. Now, does it help? In some cases, it helps to have people around you that are disciplined. But at the end of the day, what they're saying, it all falls on you, because what they've seen over time, Jocko obviously is one of the, had a big leadership role in the military. So he dealt with so many individuals, soldiers he's talking about from all different kinds of backgrounds. People with disciplined parents and people with non-disciplined parents. And he just goes on to say that there's a lot of kids, or there's a lot of people with disciplined parents that have all their things together, and their kids are wild for whatever reason. They try to instill certain things into their kids just rebel against it, and they just go in a completely different direction. Then he's also talking about, well, he's had soldiers, he's had, people under him that had some pretty bad parents, addicted to drugs, alcoholism, one parent household, maybe no parents, and they became some of the most disciplined people that he's ever met. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who around you has it or doesn't have it. It's just, do you want it? And what are you going to try to achieve with that? And what I really like about this podcast is he's talking about military doesn't give you discipline. It'll instill it in you. You have to do it. You got to get up at a certain time every day. You got to fix your bed. It's got to be neat. Your uniform has to be a certain way. There's things in the military that kind of guide you or put you in a disciplined kind of path. Like, you have to be this way for the 2 years, 4 years, whatever, however long you're in the military. But when people get out, you no longer have orders anymore to be a certain way. So it all falls on you. And they're talking about how people get weak, and 6 months later, after they get out of the military, fat, out of shape, undisciplined, lazy, because when they got out, they would hear them say, they couldn't wait. Like, they're done with this discipline stuff. They're done with this getting up early stuff. And he's like, it's really sad, because they know the value and the worth and where that gets you, where discipline gets you. But that's not them. It's not in their DNA to be that way. They don't want to be that way, so they don't be that way. So as soon as you're no longer in a position to where you have to take orders and do a certain thing at a certain time and a certain way, you're not going to do it. But where does that get you? Where does that lead you? Like you said, 6 months out of the military, short a period of time. Here, you've been in the military for however many years you've been in there. You have to be disciplined and in shape and everything else. And then the second you get out, just a few months down the road, you're a completely different person. Not good. So it's just one of those things where you have to see the value and the worth of it. And some people just don't want that. And some people do, but you can't blame that on other people, your environment, whatever. So they go on to talk about, for instance, like someone that has no discipline, never worked out in their life, didn't eat healthy, but now all of a sudden has a heart attack. Where does that get you? Now all of a sudden you have a heart attack. You start seeing your life valued more. Oh, I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see my grandkids grow up. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle kind of thing. So now all of a sudden they're working out every day. Now all of a sudden they're drinking water instead of soda. Now all of a sudden they're a vegetarian. Now all of a sudden they completely changed because of the scare of death and having a heart attack. Now all of a sudden they're disciplined and they see the worth and the value of being a certain way, eating certain foods, working out. There was no value there before. It wasn't worth it. Now all of a sudden your life is on the line. Now you're completely life change, life shift, and now you're just a completely different person. And where does that get you? Get you to live longer, get you to live healthier, get you to live better, that kind of thing. So, I really like that because I know over the last 20-something years of meeting people through jiu-jitsu, I've met a lot of individuals like that, where it took them a scare, it took them some kind of bad thing to happen. And that's mainly the case, and I think a lot of jiu-jitsu coaches around the world can relate to this, is most of the time when you ask an individual, what brings you in? You get the health and fitness thing. Oh, I want to learn, every now and then you want to be an MMA fighter, but you want to learn self-defense. But a lot of the times it's, well, my health is poor, and the doctor said, I need to make some life changes or else. That or else got you up, grabbed your cell phone, Googled jiu-jitsu schools or something near you, made a phone call, came in and signed up because of or else. Because there's something there waiting for you, which isn't good if you don't make certain changes. So it's worth it. It's worth it to come to class. It's worth it to get in shape, to eat better, to take better care of yourself. Because once you go to that place compared to the place that you were at, you have something to compare now. When you were undisciplined, eating bad, not taking care of yourself, you don't know the value of what or how far you can go and what you can achieve when you are disciplined. So you don't do it because you've never been that way. But now that you have something to compare to and you're on the other side of that, you'll never go back, at least you shouldn't, go back to where it got you in the first place, in trouble with your health, in trouble with your life, in trouble with whatever you were doing, hanging around different people, the wrong crowd, whatever, versus hanging around the right crowd. I remember I had a student one time, I forgot what belt I gave him, but I gave him a belt and I was like, well, what do you like about jiu-jitsu, or what brings you in? And he's telling the class, he's like, well, I'm not hanging out with losers anymore. I'm actually hanging around with people on the mats that have the same kind of goals as me and the goal-oriented people versus the people I was hanging out with before were losers. This is what I was around. So I was one too. And I like being around this group of people because I can see the difference in their mindsets versus where I was at before with the other people and their mindset and where that got me and where that will lead you to. And then these guys going to talk, the guy's Echo, he's talking about his credit. And I love this. I love it because a lot of people can relate to this. If you don't have good credit, he's talking about, he didn't know the value of good credit. His mom told him, hey, you should have good credit. But she never really taught him about the credit. She just told him, hey, you should have good credit. And so being a young guy, whatever, he let his credit go, just destroyed it. Okay. And he said it was a painstaking process to rebuild his credit. And why did he want to do that? Because he went to buy something and he got denied. He's like, man, that sucked. Like, you need to buy something and you got to have good credit to do it. But I destroyed my credit. He didn't care about it. And a lot of people I know do that. Okay. I was very fortunate enough to have a father instill that in me. Now, again, it's up to me to take it. It's up to me to take it. He could tell me till he's blue in the face about my credit. But for whatever reason, when I was 18 years old, he made me get a credit card and start establishing credit. He made me get a loan so that I could start establishing credit And it just stuck with me. I saw the worth and the value of having good credit at 18 years old. And now, later on down the road, that has helped me it's helped me get, a couple houses, cars, my business, all the things that I need credit for, I never had a problem with. I go somewhere, I got, A+ credit, they run my credit, and they're like, Mr. Alvarez, what do you want, man? You can have anything you want. What do you need? And we got you. Like, lowest interest rates. I refinanced my house, got the lowest interest rate you could have because my credit's really good. The interest rate on my new home, super low because my credit's really good. I got one credit card for the business and one credit card for personal. I don't have multiple credit cards, and they both got low interest rates. I pay them off within 30 days. This whole thing, over the years, I can just do what I want, get what I want because my credit's really good, because I did have someone teach me that, but it was up to me to take those lessons and actually apply them and use them, and then I benefited from those. Some people, like Echo's talking about in this podcast, his mom didn't teach him that. She just told him, hey, you should have good credit. He just blew that off, didn't really understand what she was talking about, and he's talking about having to rebuild his credit and how horrible that was, and that he will never have bad credit ever again. He's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got daughters or whatever he's got as far as kids goes. But he's got a family now, and he needs that credit to whenever they need something, he has it to go and buy whatever it is they need to buy. And so anyone out there that has bad credit and you're paying 20-something plus on an interest rate for something that you should have like 3.5 on, you're just throwing money away. You're just throwing money away. You're just hurting yourself. So there's definitely worth and value in being disciplined with your money, with your health, your whatever it is. You should be disciplined, but people don't like discipline. Why? Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It is. Everything's a lot of work. It's not easy. You can't just lay around and just think that things are going to be handed to you. So I love being disciplined. Like, I embrace it. There's times where I'm like, man, yeah, you just want to, your body's hurt and your mind, you just want, life is weighing heavy on you and you just feel like you need a break, but you can't take one because that's not going to help you. What's going to help you is to stay disciplined, stick to the routine, stay on the path, keep moving forward, and don't let up, So you're out there and you are waiting for someone else to help you become disciplined. Is not going to happen. It's going to take you, just you, and only you. You're waiting for someone to come in and help you with your credit. It's not going to happen. You have to have discipline with your credit and what you buy and how you should spend your money and what you should be doing with it, so that you can have things later on when it's that time to when you want something. So don't wait until you have a heart attack to get in better shape and want to see your family when you get older and everything else. Don't wait till your credit's bad and in horrible shape. Then when you want to go buy something, you get denied. Take care of the things now. It's worth it. There's value in all that. There's not any value and any worth in being undisciplined. All that does is get you going backward in life. And that's it. All right. So you guys have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.